Hello and welcome to our shitty nitpicking review of everyone's favorite shitty sci-fi movie, which isn't really a sci-fi movie because everybody says it's a fantasy movie, but it's a sci-fi movie, but it's also a fantasy movie, and nobody knows anymore. Welcome! Welcome!
Star Wars: A New Hope!
Also known as Star Wars. Also known as Star Wars Episode 4.
So, we're actually nitpicking this video because, this movie, because everyone has been nitpicking the prequels for multiple reasons, and
recently everyone has been nitpicking the sequels.
So I wanted to come to that, actually.
So we wanted to go back to the originals and show that you can nitpick them just as much as the sequels.
Maybe even more.
Probably even more. Depends on the movie.
The first one. Imagine you've never seen Star Wars in your entire life. It's the first time you watch this movie.
Alright, I'm trying.
Yeah. Suddenly you see the exposition screen. And it's like just some text. And they say like, this is the movie. And this is happening. And these guys are evil, and you should root for these guys.
There are many things wrong with this opening crawl. The first thing is that starting off your movie with like literal text exposition is fucking stupid.
It's super lazy. It's the laziest thing in movie history.
Especially if the things that they are saying are also clear from watching the movie.
Yeah.
So it's basically pointless exposition.
What have you done with those plans?
We intercepted no transmissions.
I fucking hate it. And I fucking hate Star Wars that they do it every time. Because they never say something necessary.
No.
There's no movie that needs it. I hate it.
For some reason they don't do it in the two Star Wars story films. And you're not missing anything.
But that's the thing. There's no movie that has this. There's no movie that has this.
You know which movie has this? The Lost Airbender.
We all know how that movie went.
Okay, but let's start with the first paragraph. They're just saying the rebels have won their first victory, but there's no sense of that in the movie at all. The movie just opens and they're being chased by a gigantic ship. You don't get a sense that they're like, oh, we won. They're like in mortal danger. Oh my god, we're all dying! They're shooting us to shit! In the second paragraph, they say that they managed to steal the plans, but you also get that from just watching the movie. So why is it in the opening
They
title
could
call?
have just... That's the lazy part. They could have just added a stupid scene where they would say, I have the plans to the Death Star! Like the last scene from Rogue One.
Yeah.
They could have just shoved that in there. Why the fuck not? There's a lot of violence in this movie anyway.
So much violence.
It's so stupid. It's so incredibly lazy.
Alright, let's continue.
I fucking hate it.
In the opening crawl, they say that the Empire has an armored station with enough power to destroy an entire planet.
What?
How about you just make this a surprise in the movie? Because in the movie, they blow up a planet. But when that happens, you already know that the station is capable of destroying an entire planet. Because they tell you in the opening crawl. It's not like something surprising. So, holy shit, they can destroy an entire planet. Because you already know!
Like in the 70s, this probably would have been like amazing. Like, look at the fucking effects. Like they destroyed a planet.
Yeah.
And like, but they just say it. They just shove it in there. In the
By the way,
crawl.
it can destroy a planet, and we're gonna do this later, but you already know, so you know what to expect. Please don't leave the theater. We need your body.
It's terrible.
What?
I love how they just call Darth Vader some random sinister agent.
Oh yeah,
He's just some random asshole.
because now we all know that he's Space Jesus and not just some agent. And then they say that they have to restore freedom to the galaxy. The only problem being is that you never see that like people are being repressed and stuff. You see that the Empire is fighting the rebels and they're trying to kill the rebels because they're rebels, but you never see that they're like evil that they're doing evil things on like planets and suppressing people or forcing them into labor camps or stuff or like gassing them in gas chambers.
They're evil because it says here in the titles.
But that's the whole problem.
Look, they're super evil. They say it. They're evil.
I guess the movie starts that they're like breaking into the rebel ship, but yeah, that's what when you're the government, you try to crush the rebels. That's the point of a government.
How random is this movie actually? They actually say in the title crawl that Princess Leia. So you'll think like, oh, she's the main character, and then they get into the ship with the camera, and they're filming these awkward robots like shuffling over the floor. And look, there's a silver robot there.
It's the exact same one, but it has nothing to do with the movie.
It's never mentioned again in the entire movie. This is just some random robot.
But it's only in one shot. That's excusable.
It's fucking idiotic.
It is.
They just start off with these stupid random robots, so you don't know what the fuck you're watching.
It is kind of strange that the entire first part of the movie has the two fucking robots. It feels so strange. If they would do this to like a contemporary movie, everybody would hate the opening because it's completely disconnected from everything else. Like, for the rest of the movie, you're following Luke on his epic journey, but the movie starts off with, like, two fucking robots.
Yeah, and this part is pretty long. They just... Yeah. And we don't even see Leia. The first time we see Leia, she's, like, hidden in the corner, like, in the shadows.
You can't even really see her. It's not 100% clear that is Leia. It could have been handled so much better, but the problem is that the biggest hack fraud in Hollywood directed this movie.
The guy who made this movie doesn't have any clue what space is or how he just wanted to make a medieval movie with an evil guy and a princess, and then he just said, "Oh, let's just do it in space." Yeah, but he has no clue what space is about and what the rules of space are and that kind of stuff. And
it defeats the whole purpose of setting your movie in space if it doesn't feel like space at all. I mean, like the rules of space don't apply to this movie. Why even set it in space? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Just hate it. Also, these guys, they're like cramped into this hallway, and they're just standing there ready to shoot.
They can just focus their fire on, like, because the Empire is coming from this one particular door. They're only boarding the ship or
from one particular door.
From one door. So they can just focus their fire onto that one spot and just shoot and keep shooting until they're all dead. But instead
the Empire could do something like original and throw a smoke grenade. And then in the smoke grenade, they could just throw another real grenade out there and blow them all up or something.
Or
instead of just exposing themselves, walking through the door and get shot at.
Or enter with like big shields or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Would be pretty cool. No, you just have these awkward guys in plastic costumes stumbling through the door, and somehow they're like superior to like these other troops, even though the rebels should have the upper hand here.
They should win this fight.
And yet the fucking rebels keep missing. They keep missing. It's not even physically possible to miss that much.
If this would be a modern movie, everybody would fucking hate this.
Yeah.
This scene would be the most shitty scene in the entire movie history. Instead, no, it's the most classic movie.
It actually reminds me of the Last Jedi, where they open the movie with like a bombing run that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. This also doesn't make any sense. I mean, why would you just walk through the door with like no protection whatsoever, just get gunned down? There are no tactics here.
In the title crawl, they want to make clear like the Empire is super evil and powerful and stuff. They just, like you said, they're just stumbling
like clumsily walking.
Oh
my god!
Getting shot at.
Oh my god, they're shooting at us. I didn't expect this at all.
It's fucking retarded. The two robots are just crossing the hall and like in the middle of a laser fight.
For some reason I missed them, but like when the three other guys stop for a moment to shoot back, they immediately kill one of them. But like the two fucking shining robots, they missed them.
I guess they weren't targets, you know. They didn't want to shoot.
You don't want to blow up the robots, I guess, because you can still sell them for parts.
I guess they could also sell the flash of these robots.
Flash? Right. I just want to say that despite their attempts to make Darth Vader seem like intimidating and evil in this scene, it just comes off as comical, and it's just like a man in a Halloween costume.
Yeah, it's looking at the killed rebels. It's like, well, they're fucking dead.
It's just so funny. Somehow his performance or his look is less funny in the next two movies, but in this movie, every time when he's on screen, it's just hilarious. He comes off as so awkward.
Where do you think you're going? Well, I'm not going that way. It's much too rocky. This way is much easier. What makes you think there are settlements over there?
I find this very annoying in actually all these movies. It's constantly the same. They're always, most of the conversations is just one way, and then the character has to repeat the shit that some other character that can't speak English said.
You have this with two characters. You have this with R2 and with Chewbacca.
What's going on? Luke's crazy. He can't even take care of himself, much less rescue anybody.
And it's like every time when there's a conversation with these characters, it's always so one-sided.
Yeah, and there's always a one character that needs to repeat like the stuff that's important for the audience. And I fucking hate it when there's just R2 like blabbering some random noise. I can't understand this shit. Fuck you. And then there's Chewbacca and I'm fuck off. I don't want to hear it. It's terrible.
The thing is, in the logic of the universe, they could just have given R2 a voice box. I mean, he's just a fucking robot.
C-3PO's a voice box. Fuck you.
I guess maybe because R2 is more like a tool to like operate these fucking control panels, but then why does he even have the ability to communicate so extensively, but just in beeps and boops instead of in talking? Doesn't make any sense. This has probably been said before, but when he throws the dead rebel away, it's so fucking funny. It's obvious that he isn't dead, and that the actor is just trying to like fall as softly as possible to like not fall on his face. And it's every time when I see it, I have to laugh. It's so stupid.
It's also completely idiotic to kill the guy you were interrogating.
Yeah, maybe he has more information. I mean, he never even answers.
If this is a consular ship, where is the ambassador?
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. He says this is a
a consulate ship, and then he says there should be an ambassador.
But they watched them like fucking steal the plans.
Yeah, when he's talking to Princess Leia, she's also saying that they're on a diplomatic mission.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor.
We learned from the hit film Rogue One,
the popular movie,
that like he witnessed the entire battle and he witnessed them escape, and they know that because he was like slaughtering rebels left and right, so they were fully aware of his presence. Yet they still try to say, like, they still come up with the excuse that they're on a diplomatic mission, which doesn't make any sense. It did make sense when Rogue One didn't exist, but now they kind of fucked it up. And oddly enough, like, Rogue One is the Disney film that every Star Wars fan likes, or most of the Star Wars fans like, for some reason. Because it's not the worst Disney one, but it's pretty bad. And we'll get to it maybe someday, but I think it's fucking awful.
Commander, tear this ship apart until you found those plans and bring me the passengers. I want them alive!
Why didn't they just blow up the ship? But then they wouldn't be able to do anything with the plans. I mean, if you're just sailing this fucking ship, just blow it the fuck up.
You probably have some super lasers.
They definitely have super lasers. I know this for a fact, they have super lasers.
But they needed to follow the script.
Oh yeah,
it was lying in the cockpit. They had to follow the script.
It wasn't the script that the two robots had to escape, so they had to find something that they wouldn't blow up the ship. But it doesn't make any sense. The Empire would just... I mean, they just blow up an entire planet for no reason. Why would they just blow up the ship?
Why does C-3PO say he's going to regret that?
When they get in the escape pod, because he's on a doomed ship.
What plans? What are you talking about? I'm not getting in there. I'm going to regret this.
Yeah.
The ship is being burned.
He's lucky they didn't blow it up. It would have been that. What kind of dumb robot is this?
If he has any sense of self-preservation, he would go in the escape pod, even if R2 didn't say that they had to go.
Yeah.
And it's also dangerous that if he would fall in the wrong hands, they could probably get some information from his memory stuff. So he should try to escape and not be whining, I'm going to regret this.
Fucking whining robot.
This scene or this sequence, whatever, this shot from the two Imperial guys that look at the escape pod when it's going to the planet, when it's escaping, they say...
There goes another one.
Hold your fire. There's no life forms.
It must have short-circuited.
But they're fully aware that robots exist in this universe, right? I mean, they know this, right?
They say there goes another one, so there have been multiple escape bots escaping, and I think they've been shooting them all because they say, hold your fire. Why would you not shoot on this one?
Just because they think it's like a malfunction or something.
Just shoot it! Target practice!
Plus, you know that robots exist! And that they don't give up like a life sign. You know that doesn't happen, so it's possible that if you don't find the life sign, that there's robots inside.
Just shoot it!
But these guys are so retarded that they don't realize it.
I guess. This movie, it starts off awful. There's so much shit that happens to advance the plot.
To like make sure that there even is a plot.
Yeah.
Because if people would like act like normal human beings or like somewhat intelligent, there would be a fucking plot.
The Empire would have won immediately because the ship would just be flying debris.
Yeah.
And then suddenly when they're like walking with Darth Vader and there's like this one officer that says,
an escape pod was jettisoned during the fighting, but no life forms were aboard.
She must have hidden the plans in the escape pod.
We saw earlier, they said there goes another one.
There goes another one.
And they just blew it up, presumably.
No, they didn't blow it up.
The other ones.
No, the other ones, I guess, yeah. And then this one thing they didn't. Why?
And then they just tell him anyway.
Yeah.
First to make a point of it that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, just let it go. And then they go to Darth Vader. Oh my god! We let the pod go with no life forms aboard. That's definitely where the plans are.
She must have hidden the plans in the escape pod. You're fucking retarded.
This movie is just trying to find excuses for its own existence. Darth Vader says to send stormtroopers down to the planet to get the plans.
Yeah.
And then he says, there will be no one to stop us this time. But stop them from doing what?
I guess they want to blow up the planet.
But they can do that. They can blow the planet right now. I mean, the plans are there. And they have the death machine. So they can just blow up the planet. I mean, they don't care. They blow up a planet later.
And they know that the plans are down there because... because they saw the pod like going there. And they didn't shoot it because there were no life forms aboard.
Or if you don't really want to blow up the planet, we see in the hit movie Rogue One that they that they can do like a less strong, slightly less strong shot of the Death Star beam.
Yeah.
And instead of blowing up the entire planet, you like just shoot
blow up a coast.
Yeah, just shoot a gigantic crater into the planet the size of a continent. So they can also just do that. I mean, even if you're like 200 kilometers off to where the actual pod landed, you're still going to blow them up. I mean, just to be safe, you're trying to protect your giant death machine.
The plans are its only weakness. If they be obtained, it's the only weakness.
Just blow up the planet. I mean, you do it later anyway, and you don't care about like all the people living there. There's people who are part of the Senate, and like Jimmy Smits is on the planet and all that shit. There's an entire civilization on the planet. They don't care. They just blow it up because they want to show Princess Leia how evil they are.
Yeah.
If they really want to show how evil they are, they just blow up this fucking planet because the fucking plans are down there. And you don't need the plans.
No.
Because I'm gonna assume that the Empire is competent enough to have a copy of the plans on board of the Death Star. I hope that they're at least capable of doing that, because they don't get any credit from me because they've shown that they're completely worthless, but I hope that at least they have a copy of the plans on board of the Death Star, so you can just blow up the plans that are down on the planet.
Well, what's worse? Not having your plans so you can't find the toilet anymore? Or the rebels having the plans and having them to blow up your Death Star and not having a toilet anymore? They didn't really think about like the plot when writing the script.
They didn't think about logic when writing the script.
No.
And with they, I mean he. And with he, I mean Jorge. Jorge Lucas.
Why would they want to build a giant death machine and then not blow up a planet with it?
Yeah, because he says there will be no one to stop us this time.
There will be no one to stop us this time.
I'm going to assume stop them from blowing up more planets. How about you start right now and blow up this fucking planet?
You motherfucking asshole!
I've got to rest before I fall apart. My joints are almost frozen.
Why was he talking about him getting tired?
Yeah, it's a robot. He should be worried about like his power core
But
running out or something.
They never say anything in the whole Star Wars saga about power and and fuel and energy. So
Until The Last Jedi, and then everybody hates it because they're doing something else. By the way, I don't like The Last Jedi. I'm just gonna say this.
well, we'll take that movie apart in time.
Uh-huh.
Why does the translator robot doesn't have a loudspeaker?
Hey! Hey! Help!
Like a way to be
yeah.
louder than
Like a megaphone or something.
than just normal talking.
Because movie. And also, I guess it doesn't matter because they pick them up anyway.
I guess.
Which also doesn't really make much sense because, like the Jawas or the Jabbas or the Jubus,
the Jibbies.
they're a bunch of midgets that drive around the desert
Yeah.
looking for like techno junk,
Yeah.
like machine parts and robots and stuff. But like it's quite obvious from looking at this movie, they never really encountered anything that resembles some kind of machine parts or robots, except for like these are probably the first robots that landed there like a billion years.
It doesn't make any sense.
Um,
why would they?
Because it makes more sense in the Force Awakens that they're like scavenging for stuff, because like there's crashed Star Destroyers and stuff.
There's signs of a giant battle.
Yeah. So there's more. It makes more sense that it would happen there than on this planet, because there's nothing here.
The fucking desert is completely lifeless.
Yeah, it's just an empty wasteland.
Yeah.
There's no signs of any battle that you can scavenge parts from or something. This is probably the fucking pod, and these two robots are probably the first thing that has ever crash landed there.
Yeah.
C-3PO gets caught by the Jawas.
Yeah.
Gets captured, and then we cut to R2, and he also just gets captured by the Jawas. So why the fuck did we go through the whole thing that they first split up and have like a fight, and then they go their separate ways, and and then they just get captured and end up in the same place again? What the fuck kind of waste of time was that? I mean, who wrote this movie? George Lucas? I do like some of the shenanigans with the robots, like when C-3PO kicks R2 because he's angry, or when he yells, "This is all R2's fault."
Yeah, and then
That malfunctioning little twerp. This is all his fault.
and then he says, "Oh no, he tricked me into going this way," while he was really too stubborn to go with him.
He tricked me into going this way.
I do like that stuff. Or when the Jawas electrocute R2 and he just falls over. It's all good stuff. It's funny. It's the only positive thing about this movie. No, it's not true.
Actually, here, like when he gets electrocuted and he gets caught by the sand people, how does R2-D2 get on the same transport car as C-3PO?
I guess they're just driving around in strange...
They want the entire other way!
I guess. You don't really know how much time has passed. Maybe like 2 minutes have passed, or maybe like 5 hours have passed. You don't
Maybe
really know.
6 years? Because I guess they're robots, so they don't really have
No,
any...
because Princess Leia doesn't age. So.
Screw you.
Okay, so these are the stormtroopers looking for the robot, and they have a very large amount of ground to cover.
Yeah.
Yet, instead of using like some kind of speeders or other kind of vehicles, they walk on these slow-moving, fat fucking lizards that are completely useless.
I think it's also fantastic. So Darth Vader said, "Oh, they probably hid the plans on some droid and sent it out to this planet. So we gotta look for it." And so they start looking for it by literally looking for it. They look out if they can see a droid. What the fuck? There's probably some kind of technology to scan like metal parts or something.
Or like, yeah, for some kind of frequencies or some kind of
It's
whatever waves.
Fucking like radar or something. Use something. Don't just look for it. What if it was night? This is fucking retarded. And they're like walking on these dinos.
At this rate, they're never going to find the robots. I mean, look at these fucking slow things. And they also look terrible. It's terrible 90s CG, early 2000s CG.
Why does the guy say, "Look, sir, droids"?
Look, sir, droids.
And he's holding like this metal ring. What kind of shit is that?
Couldn't this just come off the fucking pod? I mean, the pod crash landed on the planet.
What part should this be? Who lost his ring?
I mean, are the droids just falling apart while they're moving?
I guess they are. Maybe the ring is a part of the parachute mechanism of the pod.
Maybe.
And it ejects off. They could just follow the fucking tracks. There's no wind. Because we saw it, because the sand isn't like
getting blown away.
So there's no wind, so they can just follow the tracks and like, oh, they're over there.
Or they can just see from the tracks that they're droids. I mean, it's very fucking obvious. You either have like the footprints, which are obviously droid footprints of like an awkward moron in a costume.
Yeah.
And like the tracks from R2, which are even
Just
more
wheels,
obviously droid footprints or track.
It's not like they would have to chase them like they did in Lord of the Rings, like chase the Uruks to save the dwarves.
The hobbers.
Yeah, the hobos. But they can just enter a speeder or some ship.
Yeah.
And just fly for 5 minutes and they got the droids. But instead of that, they have to welcome even slower than R2 on dinosaurs. So fuck you movie. You know what I also hate? Later in the movie they state that C-3PO is a translator robot?
A protocol droid,
Protocol
they say.
droid.
But like they say his main function is like translating stuff.
Yeah, he knows like a gazillion languages.
Yeah.
But like there's this one shitty tribe on the desert planet that he looks like he has no idea what they're saying.
Yeah.
Don't shoot.
Like from his reactions to what the fuck they keep saying to him, it just comes up like he has no fucking idea.
He also never speaks the language himself, so he doesn't communicate with them. Maybe they can use him. Maybe they want to go to the toilet in the gas station, but they don't know the language of the Tatooine assholes.
So let's assume that he doesn't know their language, because from looking at him, it comes off like he doesn't know the language, and he never speaks it.
No.
They're clearly civilized. They come off as scumbags, but they're civilized because they drive around and stuff. They live on a civilized planet and all that stuff.
They're wearing clothes.
Why doesn't he... They're wearing clothes, yeah. Why doesn't he know their language? But for some reason, he does know the language of the primitive Ewok village people.
Trito Dogra. Isoyoto Amuno Noka.
He speaks the fucking language in the movie. He knows the language. Yeah. And he doesn't know this. Doesn't make any sense. You know why? Because it was cute when he talked to the little teddy bears. Isn't it cute? The robot is talking to
I fucking hate the teddy bears! The Jabbas, they're trying to sell their shitty robots. And the uncle, Luke's uncle, he's like standing in front of C-3PO and he says,
what I really need is a droid who understands the binary language of moisture evaporators.
And then he says, of course, I speak the language of the binary lift.
Yeah, something with a lift.
Sir, my first job was programming binary load lifters, very similar to your evaporators in most respects.
There's only one binary.
It's a language with only two symbols. How many different languages can you make from two symbols?
You can only make one. There's only one. You can write the symbol in a different way, but it's the same principle. It's just one symbol is like this and one symbol is like the other.
Maybe the symbols just mean something completely different than
also,
the other
why
language.
does he have a moisture
evaporator?
Yeah, why does he have that shit with a binary display on it? Why doesn't he buy some translator display that he can use so he doesn't have to speak the damn language of the machine?
Why doesn't he know fucking binary? You get people now who know binary. He also needs a guy to translate bocce, but we never find out what bocce is.
Tell your uncle if he gets a translator, be sure it speaks bocce.
Besides that, it's just a language. Is it the language that they speak here on the planet? Why doesn't he know this language if it's a language?
He's like fucking old.
Or maybe he sells his moisture to bocce people from some other planet and he needs to know their language. I don't know. The point is he needs a translator robot. That's basically the point of the scene, but like they handle the scene so stupidly.
Yeah, why doesn't he just order the robot from
Amazon?
No, they act like they're living on this desolate place. There's nothing here. There's no way to get here. But they live in the super space age where you can just hop in some shitty ship and just fly to a moon 15 billion gazillion trillion miles away. It's like the only way he can buy a translator robot is when the stupid assholes find some shitty robot that has fallen from space into the sand, and then they can sell it to him.
I guess.
It's like completely convoluted and retarded. He has been waiting for this moment for 60 years.
Probably, yeah.
By now he has learned the language himself.
No, he's too lazy.
Motherfucker!
He's too lazy. That's why he lets Luke do all the work.
Take these two over to the garage, will you? I want them cleaned up before dinner.
By the way, why does he need the other droid? Like, he buys C-3PO because he explains that he needs some translator. But why does he need the other droid? Because we see the other droid that he buys blows up randomly. And then he has a bad motivator.
This R2 unit has a bad motivator, look!
Because he's not motivated enough to come along.
He's not motivated,
Yeah.
no. He needs some more motivational speaking to get him to work.
Yeah.
So it's that
So
they
he
get
commits
R2.
suicide and explodes himself.
I guess.
But why does he need the other robot? It's like the most clumsy, shitty robot on the planet. Maybe he needs a new hard drive?
He needs it. Yeah, maybe he needs it for the parts. Maybe he just needs a robot to interface with panels to do stuff.
But he's got a hood made of sand! There's no panels in there!
No, he's got like a thing in the background.
In the scene that he's like working on R2-D2 because like there's carbon shit on his face.
There's dirt in his parts. He's dirty.
and then C-3PO says, "Oh, we're from the rebellion, you know." And Luke is all, "Oh my fucking god, you're from the rebellion? Have you been in many battles? Do they look like battle droids,
Yes.
motherfucker?"
Give C-3PO a fucking bazooka. He's gonna blow some shit up.
It's fucking stupid. It's pretty boring actually that they say like, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi," and he says, "I wonder if she means old man," and he's correct. It's just right from the start.
It's me.
His first guess was right. It's old man. Fuck you. There's no one else with a similar name.
There's so much convenience in the opening of this film that they just end up with the guy that knows old man Kenobi.
They could have landed on planet Zorgbor in the hands of Crocodile Zorky.
No, but even if they landed on the same planet, they could have ended up in the hands of Schmoobity Boo at his butcher shop or whatever, and then they used R2 to like mince meat or something.
Yeah, and he find the cardboard piece that they put the data on, and he just throws it in the dumpster, or rewrites some music songs that he wrote.
I mean,
onto the drive.
Everything is just so convenient. It's so convenient to the point that it just gets annoying to watch.
The scene where Luke is like shitting in his chair with the blue milk.
Shitting?
Yeah, and he's drinking the blue milk, and he says like, "I want to go to the academy this year. I mean, there are enough fucking droids now. You bought 2." And like the old guy, the grandpa in the chair is saying, "I need you for harvest," but like they're harvesting moisture, so I think they're constantly harvesting moisture, like evaporating it from the air or
like
from the ground.
They're talking about harvest like you're like harvesting like crops or something.
like
You have
corn
to
or-
physically harvest every crop or like apples or whatever that they have to pick.
It was talking about evaporators and condensers. He's not gonna harvest like plants.
This is
or
probably
something.
going into like some kind of container or something, and then they're selling those containers of whatever moisture.
I mean, it's a minor nitpick, but like, why?
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense.
In a business like this, you don't need extra people to harvest. If this moisture evaporator operation would be even slightly logical, they wouldn't need people to physically harvest fucking moisture.
All would be machine operated.
Yeah. By the way, also Luke says that with the new droids, it should be easier to harvest without them. What the fuck are those droids going to do? You got this clumsy fucking droid that can't do anything, can't even fucking bend his limbs, and you got a driving trash can.
I'm still wondering, like, what's he gonna do with R2 to like interact with control panels? But
I mean, how did he do it before?
yeah, I guess his old one died, and what's he got else? He's got an interpreter and a driving trash can. That's
To help with the harvest?
To help with the harvest, yeah.
What the fuck are these binoculars supposed to do? You can't see shit through this.
The best part is they're not even night goggles. He just sees the shit you can see like in the screen now, but only more zoomed in and like a bit more static on it, so he can't see shit through it. They're worthless.
How about you just use your fucking eyes or just regular binoculars? You probably would be able to see more.
It's funny how everything they have is
It's made to look fancy, but it's worse than like a non-technical.
yeah,
stuff.
because they have like robots and everything is autonomous and everything can like everything they have is super like technically advanced and shit. But then they say, "I need you for the harvest because we're harvesting water." next season.
That doesn't happen automatically.
It's just fucking shitty, and they live in like this shitty sand hut, but they have like all these technically advanced parts to harvest.
I will say at least most of their house is underground, which makes sense when you live in the desert. So I will give them that, but that's about it.